Hi everyone. In this video I'm going to explain the diet I'm following to try to become the heaviest marathon runner. The goal is to have enough energy from the food to perform all of my basic bodily functions and then recover all the muscles and then have enough extra to support both the anaerobic as well as the aerobic pathways, more specifically muscle building as well as efficiency optimization for running. To my knowledge, if I don't have enough calories, it's probably going to favor the anaerobic, not anaerobic, the endurance aspect. So my body's going to become more efficient, but it's going to wear my body away and decrease strength to do so. So the last thing I want to do is to not eat enough, right? Because that's going to have to favor one direction over the other, and it's most likely going to be endurance, which you see all the time in hybrid athletes. So the goal is to find that sweet spot where you're eating a lot of calories so you can recover without gaining too much bulk. And I noticed this before when I was a little bit smaller. I could eat 2,000 calories a day and I wouldn't gain weight or lose weight. I would just maintain my weight. And then when I ate 3,500 calories a day, for example, maybe I'd still maintain my weight. I'm not gaining, I'm not losing, I'm just maintaining. The difference is I would get a lot stronger. Now, my theory is that there were certain functions or certain bodily functions that I needed to be performed in order to get stronger that were not happening because I wasn't eating enough. But the second I added more calories, my body was able to adapt and get stronger in the process. So this is my theory, and I have read about this, so it has been said before. I believe that when you're eating food, first, your body's going to perform everything it needs to function, right? It's going to keep your brain going. It's going to make sure your eyes are working. Now, after that, with the remaining calories, it's going to focus on things like recovery, right? You worked out, your muscles are going to be rebuilt because you just broke them down. After that, I think is when it does all the adaptations to become stronger in the next one, right? So if you're running, maybe you're pounding down on your shins, maybe it'll make your bones a little harder. If that's what needs to be done, right? Now it can recover, it can build a little bit stronger so you can handle that better later on. Your muscles might become bigger. Your neurons might fire off better. You get stronger, you get faster, and just overall in better shape for your goals. Right, so this is my plan for now. The plan I'm following, and the goal is to eat this diet while lifting an hour to an hour and a half a day, and I'm supposed to be building up to running 2 hours a day, and it's supposed to get to like 20 miles a day. That's the goal. So I do a lot of endurance and a lot of strength. I'm not really there endurance-wise. I do a lot of lifting, but I'm building up on the strength. After I gained a lot of weight, my shins had issues, so I mean, it's mostly better now. So now it's just about getting back to where I was before when I would run an hour and a half to 2 hours a day. So, and I'm going to be playing with the calories a lot. This is the base plan, but of course, if I start losing weight, I have to eat more calories. If I'm maintaining but I'm not getting stronger, I need to see if I can add more calories without gaining weight. If I start gaining a lot of weight, I'd have to cut down. But also, as I start running more and faster, my body's going to be burning a lot more calories, so maybe it's the amount of calories I'm eating today is fine for now. But maybe 3 months down the road, when I'm running a lot faster while maintaining the same weight, maybe my body's going to burn a lot more, and maybe I need more calories in order to maintain itself. So this is just for now. Like I said, I'm going to play with it as it goes. Lose weight, add calories, gain weight, maybe cut some calories. And this is just kind of like a first attempt. It's just a lot of calories to make sure I can recover. My first meal is usually around 8 to 10 in the morning. That's right when I wake up, before I go to the gym, where I have a bowl of cereal and then a serving of Huel, which is like a meal replacement drink. It's not like a weight gainer, it's not a protein shake. It just has all the nutrients your body needs. So it has actually a lot of protein, it has a decent amount of fat, low carbs for some reason, but it's finished with cereal. But I like those drinks, they're easy, they're convenient. So I have 1 cup of Huel, and then a bowl of cereal, and that's my first meal before I go to the gym. The nutrient breakdown for that meal should be about 51 grams of protein, 65 grams of carbs, and 27.5 grams of fat. And of course, these are estimates. I'm not calculating how much milk is going in there. It's just a rough estimate. And it should have a total of about 690 calories. As soon as I come home from the gym, I make a protein shake. And of course, because I'm trying to eat as many calories as I can, there's a lot of stuff I put in there. So I put about a serving of milk. I think it's a little bit more than a cup, but again, these are just estimates, not exact figures. After that, I put 5 grams of creatine. I put a couple scoops of peanut butter in there, and there is also a scoop and a half of whey protein. And the nutrient breakdown for this meal is about 51 grams of protein again, about 23.5 grams of carbs, and about 25.25 grams of fat. And of course, these are estimates, of course, and for a total of 510 calories. After that, I just shower real quick, and then I go to the main after workout meal, right? Because of course you want a lot of calories when your protein synthesis is higher, so I don't think it's really important to eat immediately after the gym, but at some point after, you want as many nutrients as possible so that your muscles can get the fuel it needs. And for that, I have about 6 eggs, not about, exactly 6 eggs, with cheese, a bowl of cereal with, again, whole milk for everything, never skim, never 1%, always whole milk, even chocolate milk if there's no whole milk, but definitely not 1% or skim, and then a glass of juice. And the total for that meal is about 65 grams of protein, about 80 grams of carbs, and 48.5 grams of fat, for a total of about 960 calories. After that, I make iced tea, and I'll explain that. So I was trying to add calories to my meal plan. I noticed it was very high in fat, not very high in carbs, but of course when you're running, your fuel source is carbohydrates. So I wanted to find a cheap solution to add plenty of carbs to my diet. So I bought iced tea powder mix, and I put 5 servings in a half-gallon jug, and I drink that during the day. So just half a gallon of iced tea, made from the powder, so it's nice and cheap. And that just has 125 grams of carbs. Nothing else in there, for a total of 500 calories. And again, that's just, I drink that during the day. Not one meal, just throughout the day. A couple hours after that, I have pasta, which is, I do the meal prep for that on Tuesdays. And that's just a lot of pasta and a lot of beef. It's about 1/3 of a pound of beef every day, right? So it's 2 pounds when I make it. I make 6 plates at a time, and then I usually end up eating out sometimes, so that's why I only make 6 plates when I make it. So that has a total between the pasta and the beef is about 1/3 pound of beef, maybe 2 servings of pasta every day. It's a pretty big plate. Maybe 36.67 grams of protein. Again, of course, that's an estimate. About 84 grams of carbs and 42 grams of fat, mostly from the beef, for a total of maybe 853.33 calories. In this particular case here, this is the one where it's mostly an estimate. I don't really know how much pasta and beef are in there. I do know I use 2 pounds of beef total. But how much do I lose in grease and everything, I don't know. And then pasta, I'm just filling a cup. So, I mean, it's, like it says 2 ounce servings, but that's by weight, and I didn't do it by weight. I do it by fluid ounce. So I don't go by 2 fluid ounces, but I did like a conversion based on the approximate density of pasta. So, like I said, this one is definitely an approximation, not exact. After that, I have another protein shake. That's not immediately after, maybe a couple hours later. And if I have 2 workouts in a day, this is going to be after the second workout. But it's another protein shake, same as before, but I don't put creatine in this one. So it's just going to be whole milk, a little bit more than a cup, a couple scoops of peanut butter, then a scoop and a half of whey protein. And the totals are the same for 51 grams of protein, maybe 23.5 grams of carbs, maybe about 25 grams of fat, and about 510 calories. And then that brings me to my last meal, right before bed. Probably not the best diet right before bed, but I do it anyways, which is 3 hot dogs with a bun, a bowl of ice cream. Again, I'm not measuring out a particular size or number of servings of ice cream. I just kind of put ice cream in a bowl and eat it. And then I have a glass of juice with the hot dogs, and that's before bed. And that's a total of 36 grams of protein, 124 grams of carbs, 53 grams of fat, and 1,120 calories. And I do usually split the hot dogs from the ice cream by a little bit. The hot dogs will be first, and then the ice cream maybe a couple hours apart. And I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I have a tendency to eat one or the other. I don't want to admit that, but when you eat a lot, you're not always in the mood to keep eating. So it's not uncommon for me to eat either hot dogs or ice cream, but I'm supposed to be eating both. But I'll admit that does happen sometimes. After counting the calories, I'm going to try to do that less because I want to maintain the number. I don't want to go below the number of calories I have here. So I'm going to try not to pick and choose. I'm going to try to eat both every single day, no exceptions. But in the past, that's what I've been doing. The total for everything is 290 grams of protein, a little bit more, about 525 grams of carbs, 221.5 grams of fat, and a total of 5,143 calories. And that is also, so you know, 22.6% protein, 40.8% carbs, 38.7% fat. So there's a lot of everything in there. And I will also say that moving forward, I think protein is the last thing I want to add. 290 grams of protein, can't imagine I need more than that. And it can put a little bit of stress on your kidneys if it's too much. I'm definitely not there yet, but I don't think I need to push it. I don't think it's going to benefit in any way. Fat's kind of high. It's fine. I use the energy anyways, but my main focus moving forward is going to be on carbs. It's the energy source, even though it's 525 grams. 5,143 calories is a lot, relatively modest if I have to run 2 hours a day. According to online calculators, I might need a bit more than that later on, but we'll see how the running goes. We'll see how my body responds. Do I need to go up or down? I don't know. But this is my meal plan at the moment. I don't think I missed anything. I have other liquids. I drink another jug of water every day. I make that when I make my iced tea, and I think that's my meal plan at the moment. So that there is what I mostly eat every day. It's about 5,100 calories, high protein, high carb, high fat, high everything. Carbs need to go a little bit higher, and I am gonna mention one more time why I think I have to eat so much. It's that a lot of athletes are chronically underfed, which will still work in sports, but if you want to keep building stronger and faster and fuller while running such high mileage, you really have to keep your body in a point that's not underfed. Sometimes it's subtle and athletes don't even know it, but they're a little bit underfed. So that can result in a lot of issues. For example, just general worse recovery. There's an increased injury risk, especially eating food can strengthen your tendons, ligaments, everything. So, but also just your muscles aren't recovering fully or as good as they could be. So there's increased injury risk. Your body can develop some hormonal issues because it can crashes testosterone, raises cortisol, things like that, which naturally happens for runners, but you can try to limit a little bit. Because when your body tries to deal with being underfed, and you have like different cellular pathways that are triggered during different types of exercise, such as lifting and running. And when your body detects that it needs to become more efficient, one of the things it will do is affect the hormones to become more efficient, so it can survive almost as well on fewer calories. It's like it makes the body more efficient, but it sacrifices other thing in the process. And one thing that will affect is your hormone levels. So, and you don't want to crash that when doing this. And that can overall just affect your strength, your running pace, everything. So, like I said, the whole point is to find the sweet spot, how many calories I need to eat before I start noticing any type of adverse effects, and without gaining weight too fast. And that's pretty much it. I think it's important to find that spot.